All right, so let's dive in and see how we can create a flow and some of the different possibilities. Now, for the sake of demonstration, I will create a new flow from scratch, okay? If you ever used any automation tool, this should feel very familiar. So here on the top, you can of course name your flow. Let's say I'm a flow 101. And then here on the upper right corner, you have runs. So it will show you the most recent runs. You can also see versions. So as you keep editing your flows, we always automatically save the previous versions so that if you need to go back by any reason, you can view them or restore them. And of course, once you're ready, you can just click publish and then activate your flow. Well, digging into the flow, first thing is you need to set a trigger. What is a trigger? It's essentially what will enable the reception of information so that then you can trigger additional actions. One example is, as you see here, once we click on the search bar, you'll see popular apps and also some highlights. These are highlighted by us, and you'll see here Voice AI, which is Nedzo's main actions and triggers. Why did we call them Voice AI? Well, the reason is simple. We know a lot of our users are white labeling Nedzo, and we want to make sure that this doesn't affect their own users. So Voice AI makes it very easy for them to just run with it. So one trigger that I can use here is, for example, our end of call report. So whenever a call ends, we always generate an end of call report. And then we can send all the information about that call recording. You see all that information here in this tab. So let me drag myself to the left side. Now, you don't have any data here yet. Although, if you click test trigger and you send payload, which is information, it will be now it's actually waiting on that information. But if you're not making calls, well, you won't see anything. So for that reason, I will use mock data. There we go. And you can see here, by the way, you can drag this up and down, and you can also make this wider or thinner. And this will show you the output. So this is mock data, and you can see like all this information, and we can go with it. Now, this is one trigger, but of course you can replace it if you want. And here in the Explore section, you'll see the popular actions, but we have AI flows. For example, you can use hygiene or comfy and more. You can use all other apps like Google Sheets, Slack, Notion, Gmail, HubSpot. I mean, so many that we have here, hundreds of them. And if for some reason you can find them, you can always make use of our webhooks. So essentially any modern app will be able to send information via webhooks. Of course, besides the apps, we also have utility, we have tools, so you can schedule something to happen recurrently, or even use subflows, which essentially allows you to trigger this when another flow happens. But just to keep it simple, let's use our end of call report for now. The next step is create an action. Whenever a recording is created and all the info is sent, let's say we want to populate a Google Sheet with all that information. Well, once you click on it, you see here all the different options. Insert a row, delete a row, update it, find. It's up to you. We have so many different actions, so many different possibilities. Just let your creativity flow, essentially. Now, let's say I want to insert a row. Here, it will ask you to connect your Google Sheets account. You can do so by following the steps, very easy. And then you can, of course, map all of this. Let's say then you want to send a Slack notification to your team. Well, just go here. Of course, you can use the search bar too, Slack, and then let's say send message to a channel. Well, just go here. I already have mine connected. And here I can select the channel. Let's say team general, message, hey, team or AI agent made another call. Perfect. You can set the username, so flows, and even send a profile picture if you want to make it all fancy. And here at the bottom, every single action gives you the option to continue on failure or retry on failure, or both. What this means is, let's say the flow goes through. If for some reason there's a failure, when sending this message. If you activate this one, it will skip the step, or essentially it will try the step, but if it doesn't work, then it will keep moving forward and go through all the other steps we have below. If you have this deactivated, it will stop. Okay. Now, with retry on failure, what it will do is it will automatically retry 4 times until it gives up. And of course, if you have this disabled here, it will stop. If you have it enabled, it will keep going. And of course, once you are ready to test, you can click test step and we'll try to send a message to this channel. Now, I can give it a try, test step. And it gave me an error. Why? Because the flows are not yet activated in this channel. If that happens, all you got to do is go to your Slack channel, add it in, and we have here a quick description telling you how to do it, and then it will work. Okay, this is just to show you some of the expected results and what to do with the information that is being presented to you. Okay, now what other things are important to note here? I'd say utility is one of the most important aspects because this helps you manipulate all the information and all the data that you get. So you can use code, you can map information, you can use our summarizer to calculate averages, calculate sums, count uniques, find min and max, date helper to help you format or manipulate dates, HTTP, this helps you make API calls, essentially. You can also use our math helper, SMTP, if we for some reason don't support natively your email. Let's say it's not Gmail or Outlook or one of the most well-known ones, you can always connect it via SMTP. Text helpers. But if I go to flow controllers, this is where things start to get very interesting for more advanced users. Now, I will have separate videos on how to go really in depth and creating more advanced flows. But essentially, the router, this will enable you to create multiple paths or route the information to different branches. Of course, you can go in and edit the branches. Let's call it appointment booked. And here I can do things like if the end of call report, search for outcome contains appointment booked, then go this way. And now I can, for example, send an email to the user, right? Can connect my email. I can then receive your email, use dynamic information from the end of call. There we go. Join example. Can use here in the subject line also, John, this is for you. And of course, send all the information here. Now, let's say that I want to send a text message. Well, you can use something like, for example, Twilio, or you can also use something like Bird, this one, and we have very soon our native texting piece here coming out. Okay. Now, of course, besides utility, you can scroll and search for all the apps. You can also use AI steps in the middle. Let's say you want to use GPT and ask a GPT, for example, to evaluate the call recording. You can just connect it, ask the question, and of course, you can use always dynamic information like transcript and so much more. Once you're ready, test it, and then once you tested everything, of course, you can see these ones, because if they're incomplete, they will not allow you to publish. But once they are, you can. And by the way, you can also create these long nurturing sequences with emails, text messages, and so much more. And of course, also waiting steps, one of my favorites. Let's say we call them delays. So you can use delay for or until, and then let's say delay until and use dynamic information. Okay, I think this gives you a good idea. Of course, here you have additional, you can use move to drag things around, or the select mode. If you hold command and scroll in or out, you also are able to zoom in and out. And of course, you can use all the additional controls here. I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions about flows, make sure to drop them in the community, and you can always show up to our live Q&A calls to ask any questions. Well, that's it for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.